2 likes.
Already?
Okay, we're live.
Yay!
I think. Now we should be live.
Hi!
Okej. Hej! Och välkomna.
Hi and welcome. So, a lovely, lovely person, Gea, requested some Pippi content.
Well, I think she's just requested Astrid Lindgren
Astrid
content.
Lindgren is the author of Pippi Longstocking. I'm using that
but
accent.
now we don't have a lot of her books in the house
Andreas.
currently.
No.
So the only one we do have is a jigsaw puzzle book, but which contains some excerpts from the Pippi Longstocking.
Yes.
Pippi Långstrump.
That's what her name is in Swedish. So it would look a lot prettier here, but I hate this book because it's a puzzle book and the puzzle pieces fall out. So I taped this paper over it so these puzzle pieces wouldn't fall out.
Yes.
That's not going to keep any of the other puzzle pieces from falling out.
Well, be careful with the book.
I know. Why don't you actually...
Sarah is alive.
Sarah, I'm so glad you're alive.
Sarah, formerly McGillivray, right? Is what we've learned.
Yes. She got a much Swedisher, cooler name, just like me.
Yes.
McGillivray, that's Scottish, isn't it?
Yeah.
And my maiden name is Scottish too, and I married a Swede too. Okay, so what's something that's good is to just really get used to hearing Swedish. So Morten, I'd like you to read this entire page.
Okay.
And then we will go.
Vem ska laga maten? Frågade Annika. Det gör jag själv, säger Pippi. Ja, Pippi gör allting själv. Här bakar hon pannkakor. När pannkakan är färdig kastar hon den högt upp i luften och bort till Tommy och Annika som sitter på vedlåren och äter så mycket de orkar. Det var de godaste pannkakor jag någonsin har ätit, säger Tommy. Pippi har ett trasigt ägg i håret. Det råkade komma dit när hon skulle vispa till pannkaksmiten. Men Pippi är lika glad för det.
So I'm going to translate now. Doesn't that Swedish sound so nice? So, who will make the food? Annika asks. I'll do it myself, said Pippi. Yes, Pippi does everything herself. She bakes pancakes. When the pancakes are finished, she throws them high up in the air and over to Tommy and Annika, who are sitting on the vedlåren, a trunk or something?
It's a firewood trunk.
Hi, Okja! Woohoo! For the firewood?
Yes.
Okay, so they're sitting on the firewood trunk. And they ate as much as they possibly could. Those were the best pancakes I've ever had, said Tommy. Pippi had some broken egg in her hair. What is råkade komma dit?
Att råka is to happen to, it's something that happens on accident, basically. Att råka is...
So, Pippi had some broken egg in her hair. It accidentally fell in when she should have stirred it into the pancake batter.
Or in this case, you could say it ended up there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It ended up there when she was stirring in the pancake batter. Happens to me all the time. But Pippi was still glad about it.
Or was just as happy anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Lika glad för det is tricky.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, because it sounds because för det usually means because of it.
Yeah.
But in this case, it actually means despite of it.
Would you say that's a fuzami?
No, because it's just a weird quirk of Swedish grammar that the phrase that most often means because of here means in spite of.
Huh. Okay, let me show you this adorbs picture of Pippi Longstrump cooking for her friends.
There's no F in Långstrump.
Oh, I'm thinking of the German.
Langstrumpf.
Okay. How is Pippi's name translated into Dutch? So, will you hold this?
Yes.
What's something good that we can take from here? Yes. Oh, Sarah, this is actually Morton's.
Yes,
Sorry.
That's my onesie.
I fixed it. It's Morton's onesie. The girls made me put it on because they have these adorable little snowman onesies, and they love for me to pretend that I'm Sven from Frozen that's trying to eat their carrot noses.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's very cute.
Pippi Longhouse. That's so cute.
She was already typing it when you asked her.
Nice.
Att göra själv.
Yeah.
To do things yourself.
That's with 2 dots on the O, right?
Yep.
It is so fluffy. I love this thing. So, to do something yourself, att göra själv. Say it, Morten.
Att göra själv.
So, Sarah, I'm looking at you because you want to learn Swedish because your husband is Swedish. So you gotta make your mouth do what our mouths are doing. Att göra själv. Själv.
Yeah.
Sarah, nod. Good job. To do things yourself. So, I'm curious, okay, if that sound is difficult to a Dutch person. Let me know. Efter så mycket de orkar is kind of a fun phrase.
Yeah, we have talked about orka before, but this is a new context to use that word.
Yeah. Also, I need to hear words a billion times to actually remember them.
But because usually when we bring up that word at orka, it just means like to have energy to do something. But it really more means to be capable. So here they eat as much as they're capable. So because the stopping point is not based on their energy, but how much they fit in their tummies.
The capacity of their stomachs.
Exactly. So
don't you hate it when you know your heart wants to eat more, but your stomach won't let you?
Mm-hmm. Alkia thinks it sounds like gibberish, while Sarah says she's good with accents.
Nice. Yes. Swedish is the cutest gibberish. You want to hear a language that sounds like gibberish? Finnish. Finnish is so gibberishy.
Well,
what did you say? I love you in Finnish is minä rakastan sinua.
Again, it's no more gibberish than any other foreign language.
Yeah.
It's just that it is completely unrelated to all of the languages that we have, as reference points.
But
that's why
Dutch sounds like funny German to me.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Äter så mycket de orkar. So they ate as much as they could. Polish really is difficult. Oof.
Oh, Aki's learning it.
That's cool.
Good on you.
Yeah, I could say kocham cię and jesteś bardzo ładna. That means I love you, you are beautiful. I was making creepy faces to the camera.
Sarah says if we open Discord and let her call, she could prove it. Well, not right now.
Yeah,
but
the first 20 minutes of this goes to our Swedish Facebook group. Hopefully somebody comes over here. But if not, then it gives other friends 20 minutes to show up for us to get to what they want us to talk about. Perfect system.
Andreas agrees with me that the reason Finnish sounds so strange to you is because it belongs to a completely different family of languages.
Oh, yeah. So,
Auke's sister-in-law is Polish. That's why
cool.
she's learning that.
I think I remember you saying that now that you say it. My memory, there's such limited hard drive space I need another couple of terabytes. Äter så mycket. So mycket. You see those two together a lot. It's the emphasis to so much. So mycket.
Yeah, well, but in this case, it's actually as much as they are capable of.
As much, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is an interesting thing that when you see DE, it's often pronounced dom.
Yes. Yeah, it's one of those, and it's like it is slowly
some
becoming.
people want to spell it just DOM to make
That's
it.
what I was gonna say. Yes, it's a difficult because it would be a lot easier. It simplifies it. The problem is that then you're losing a bit of the grammar because there are two different you can't writing it dom. You would do the same thing for subject and object, while when you write it de and dem, then there's a difference. So that's why people are opposing that spelling reform, even though those two words are pronounced completely the same way all the time. Oh, hey, Stina from Visby here.
Hey, nice to have you here. Thank you for coming. So, and then this word that we have talked about before, orkar, to have energy to do something, or in the case of food, to have space to do something.
Yes.
So, Stina, I wanted to tell you that I can speak Swedish to you, and then Morten can translate and tell me how many mistakes I made. Stina, vi gör den första ungefär 20 minuter på svenska, nej inte på svenska, men vi lär varandra svenska och pratar lite. Och sen efter 20 minuter ungefär, vi pratar bara på engelska om livet, om våra äventyr och resande tid.
Yeah, so roughly the first 20 minutes of the live stream is not entirely in Swedish, but just for learning Swedish for Katie and viewers to learn some Swedish. And then after that, we do it all in English and we'll just talk about life and experiences we've had and things like that.
Yes, we've had an interesting life. Yes, Stina can speak both languages, but it's good too. It's good for me to use my Swedish. We keep saying this, but we do need to pick a Swedish day of the week or something.
Yeah.
The kids love to speak Swedish with me really rarely. They think it's so weird.
Yeah.
They're correcting me all. I work on Swedish every day though. I'm reading Swedish books to them every day. So
yeah.
I'm not doing nothing, but I could be doing more.
Yes.
I'm going to read this page.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is now, because this is just short excerpts to go with the jigsaw puzzles, there is no coherent plot between the pages. So just so everyone knows.
Thanks.
If you have no clue how this page relates to the previous page,
neither do we.
It's because it doesn't.
Skämte mig hit och skämte mig dit, säger Pippi. Och så kastar hon upp Dunder Karlsson på ett skåp. Boy, is this... What? This is not making any sense. Anyway.
But Dunder Karlsson is a name.
Oh.
Or is a nickname.
Okay. Let me just get through this. Och sen kastar hon upp blom på skåpet också. Då blir de bägge tjuvarna så rädda och börjar gråta. Pippi tycker
synd.
Dang it. Pappa tycker synd om dem och ger dem var sin guldpeng att köpa mat för Pippi är snäll. Den som är väldigt stark måste också vara väldigt snäll. Jag håller med. Okay, Morten, go ahead and I should try to translate, but there's I got 30% of this.
The first sentence is also a bit weird because it is a weird expression.
Skämte mig hit. Is it move me back and forth?
No, skämta is to joke with or play jokes on and things like that.
Oh yeah.
But it's Or like in that case, like fool me, like so, like fool me here, fool me there. It's like, like what are you talking about, fooling me, and sort of thing.
Oh, like you think you can trick me? You're dumb. You're pooty head.
Like yeah.
Okay, and then she threw the guy up on top of the wardrobe,
Mm-hmm.
and then she threw up the other guy, Blom also up on top. And what is då blev de bägge? What is bägge tjuven?
The both.
Oh, I've never heard that word. Wouldn't it be båda två? Is that just old Swedish?
Yeah, like they both work. These days people usually use båda. Bägge is like you sometimes hear it like in spoken, but it's very rarely used in text.
Spoken by old people?
No, like
okay.
no, I could use it.
Okay, so anyway, then both of the thieves were red and were scared and began to cry. Why am I laughing at this? Pippi thought, synd is tycker synd on dem? Is it like she felt sorry for them?
Yes.
Okay. So Pippi felt sorry for them and gave them some money. Gold coins?
Yes, give them a gold coin each.
To buy food with. Because Pippi is nice. Those who are very strong must also be very nice. And then I said, I agree. But look how beautiful this picture is. So there's Pippi holding this guy by the ankles. And he's like regretting his life choices. And this guy,
as you would, if a 12-year-old girl was swinging you around by the ankles.
And there's this guy beginning to cry on top of the wardrobe.
Or I don't know if she's 12. I don't know what old age she's supposed to be.
She is.
Maybe younger than that.
She's Peter Pan. She will never grow up.
True, but she still has an age.
I feel like she was probably more like 8.
Yeah.
That feels.
I'm just thinking like she's a bit older than that in the movies because
you can't make an 8-year-old work that hard.
Yeah. But yes.
Yes. Okay. So skämte mig hit och skämte mig dit.
Yeah.
Should we write that silly phrase down?
Riddle me this, riddle me that.
Is that what Riddler says?
Not really, but yeah.
Okja says she believes she is 9, but before that, Stina said, your husband seems to be a good teacher. He has great explanations.
Well, considering I'm 3.5 years into I'm 2.5 years into a 4-year teaching training at university. I ought to be.
But you are good.
Is it in the song? Wait, is it in the song?
You are really good at explaining stuff before studying to be a teacher.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's part of why I decided to become a teacher.
Yeah, you've always had a passion for helping people to understand things.
Yes. This sentence that we're writing down is
totally silly.
Yes, and not useful at all. But,
which is why we want to teach it to you.
Men att skämta is to joke around, play around.
I'll write att skämta. So, if someone is just trying to joke around with you, it's not totally useless.
Yes.
Att skämta. So this is the full verb.
Yes.
Who's afraid of the big black bat? I always heard who's afraid of the big black... Who's afraid of the...
She's referring to the Riddler.
Oh.
The big black bat.
Oh. I'm slow. Skämta mig hit. So, there's that who sound again. Skämta mig hit och skämta mig dit. Hit och dit. You hear that in hit och dit. There's like things where you can sing songs to little kids and you put them on your lap and you go hit och dit.
You don't go wheat.
Oh, I just said poop. I just said poop and back. Dang it.
Yeah.
Hit och dit. Isn't that in the Pressens lille klocka?
Och ensam kom hit. Och ensam kom hit. Och ensam kom ner i diket. Yes. Here and there.
Okay, well, you'll have to sing the song for me later if you know it. What's the next?
But then we go att tycka synd om.
Oh yeah, that's a good phrase.
To have sinful feelings for it. No. Well, because sin does mean sin, but in this case it's also... It's like, it's both sin and pity, which is sort of a weird combination.
That is weird. So, tycker synd om. This is not a full sentence. This is a part of a sentence. To feel pity about or for.
Yes. Om is a really complicated little word because by itself it just means about, but then when it's used in certain sentences, it just completely, like, it can change the meaning of other words. Like I said, synd usually means sin, but you say synd om, then it's like pity or like sorry for. And same thing, att tycka is, to think or feel something, but att tycka om is to like. And so that om can really like change things quite a lot, which is complicated.
I got a thicker pen. This is another kind of similar phrase. Bryr sig om. Did they spell bryr?
Yeah.
Woo!
That is like the att bry, so it's, but then jag bryr mig om, hon bryr sig om.
So that's to care about someone. Is one of these like more, have a stronger meaning or a more... Wait, let's read the comments because Morton's distracted. I think that phrase is only used in Pippi. Skäm till mig hit, skäm till mig dit. I have never heard anyone say that outside of Pippi stories.
Yeah.
So if you want to be cool and make people think of Pippi, then say that phrase.
Yeah, but basically what it is like someone says something about skämta, and then she says that, but it's like, so you wouldn't use the specific phrase, but you might hear someone say like respond to something else with like doodle doo, I can't think of anything now, but it's like, yada yada this, yada yada that. Like, so you can add, you could put other words in there, but it's really not a common thing to do.
A really great thing in life is to have inside jokes.
Yes.
So this is how you can build an inside joke. But I wanted, before we move away from the Swedish and into the Quatsch, what language is that? That's German.
Yes. Also, Auke asked, what will you teach Morton? And she asked if I got the spelling of my name right, which she did not.
She was close.
She was very close.
Yes.
But it requires a letter that's probably not on her keyboard, so I am not upset. However, she did just call me a fish. But I will be teaching 4th through 6th grade in several different subjects.
When I read that, I thought she was asking what I was going to teach you. And I was like, oh, so many things. But before we move on, I wanted to ask if tycker synd om and bryr sig om have like a strong, one has a more negative meaning or one has a more positive or stronger or...
Att bry sig om is to care about. Well, tycka synd om, so att tycka synd om is like native, but it is specifically like pity.
So it's like more of a, there's a homeless person there and they're miserable.
Or, kid fell and scratched their knee. Screwed their knee and things like that. Well, att bry sig om, that's a more like, that's something that can apply in any situation.
So like a homeless person could say, tycker synd om mig.
So, yeah, but I don't think they would say that.
Bryr du inte om...
Bryr du dig inte om... Yeah.
Or a kid who fell down and is crying. Bryr du inte om mig?
Bryr du dig inte om.
Oh, goodness.
Because it's a reflexive verb. You care yourself about something.
Okay. Anyway, now it's time.
Is there any water left there?
A bit.
I thirst. I'll go get some more.
Okay. So now I'm gonna write, even though it's not really, I'm gonna write intermission while Morton gets water, and we're transitioning from Swedish into talking about life and stuff. So, do. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby and get ourselves a snack. Okay. So that's here. Bleh. If you're here hanging out, what have you enjoyed listening to us talk about? And where did we leave off? I feel like we may have left off with being pregnant in South Africa with my twins. But did we go for it? Morton will remember. He's got a much better memory than me. Akya says, how do you say I love you? Wait,
älskar dig.
You need to sit down and say it.
Jag älskar dig.
So, jag älskar dig. Älska. Isn't it sound so nice? Isn't Swedish so pretty? So, did we leave off with me being pregnant in South Africa? Is that where we left off?
I don't think we... Did we really? I don't think we got that far.
Did we not?
I feel like last week weren't we just talking about plays that we had done?
Well, yeah, but
So
before that, when we were going through our life, because I named this video 3 Continents in a Year and a Half, because I feel like that's about where we were.
Yeah, but yeah. Well, anyway, we can still skip to that.
Yes. So, what was the first? The first continent was Europe, right?
Well, yes, right, yes.
Because we went from France.
Yeah, we toured in France, and then we went over to the States. Oh, that was the thing too. We toured in France, then we went over to the U.S. We're expecting to tour there, and then got asked to go back to France.
And it was a big emotional journey because I felt like we can't leave. We only had one unit member, one French speaker. And I was like, this hurts. We can't leave her alone. What's going to happen to all the programs? What's going to happen to the area and all that we've put into it? And then I was just like trying not to focus on it. Like, okay, just praying like, okay, God, take away my desire for France if this is it. And it happened. I let go of it and was excited to be in the States, and then they called us up and were like, hey, you guys want to come back?
We were like...
I cried. I was like heartbroken because I had already accepted this new thing and having to change again.
Yeah.
That feels so long ago.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm telling somebody else's story so much of the time.
That was so much back and forth.
But the funny thing was, our plane ticket was 2-way.
Yeah, because it was cheaper to buy a return ticket than a one-way ticket, which is strange, but that's how it was. So we had a return ticket that we were just not planning to use. And then they called us, hey, you want to use that return ticket? And we were struggling with it for a while and like trying to figure it out. And then we did something that I would never actually recommend for anyone else to do, and we were sort of joking about it. Like, I was like, okay, I don't mean for us to actually do this. Like, this is just a silly thing, but it might take our minds off of it. Like, something we talked about in youth group was to, just stick your finger into the Bible and open it up and, and see if it says anything about your current situation. And then we did that, and it was a verse about returning from where you came. And we were like, that's weird. And then like And then, but it's like, but that's probably just a coincidence. So you try it and see. It's like it's not gonna be the same thing. And then
it was something about vineyards.
Yes, it was about returning to the vineyards you have planted, to enjoy the harvest of your work.
France, wine, vineyards.
Yeah, and also like returning to harvest where you had planted. Like, so it was, going back to where you have been working. And it's like, okay, that's a bit strange.
But the first one I wanted to say was kind of funny, was that it was like, it let me return so that I can die where I was born or something like that. It was
we're like let's ignore that last part.
And then the third one was the New Testament.
Yeah. We were like, okay. Well, it's got to be in threes, right? We'll just aim somewhere in the New Testament, for confirmation. And
it was, when Timothy returns, see to it that he has everything that he needs, because we're waiting expectantly for him, or something like that.
It was specifically, and we had talked about like that we were doubting because like we didn't know what we wanted to do, because I had said I didn't feel peace in either direction, and then that verse was specifically when Timothy returns to you, greet him in peace or something like that. So it was like it specifically used the word peace, and I was like, well, that's exactly what I asked for. I guess we're going back. And so we did.
And then from that point of just accepting it, it wasn't any more turmoil. It was excitement. And it was like, okay, we're where we're supposed to be.
Yes. But again, this is not something that we recommend other people do, because like it should like just randomly opening the Bible. Yes. And there's we call it tumvers, as in a thumb verse. Stick your thumb in. Yeah. That can easily lead you down the wrong path. Yes. In our case, it worked out.
That reminds me of that joke of the person looking in the Bible for what they should do, and it lands on Judas Iscariot killing himself and spilling his guts, and then they look at the next verse and it says, "Go and do likewise."
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, that was a weird thing. So then we went back and we did one last tour in France, and then we went back to the States properly.
And then we were in the States, and we were really excited to have 2 years of English speaking.
It was just going to be 1 year, and then we were going to be done with Talented Players.
Right. That was it. This was finishing our commitment, because we were just like really wanting to have a family. And we're just in a steady life and friends, and for you to finally go to school, and we just been putting these things off for so long. So we were there, and we had 1 more year to go, 2 more tours, and then that not even, was it before Christmas or after Christmas?
It was I think
it was like Christmas Eve.
Oh yeah, Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. It was during Christmas. Over Christmas, they called us.
The supervisor called us, and he was like, "Would you guys be willing to go to Africa?"
We were like, we don't have anyone in South Africa. And we had been like, because in the US we had this big project of like, we were touring in an area where no one had been, like Talented Players hadn't been there for several years, and so we were like building it up pretty much from the ground and such, and so it was a big exciting thing that we were part of, and we were expecting to stay there for the next tour. And then they said like, actually we sort of need you in South Africa, and we were like, what?
We just laughed, but I immediately felt like I want to do this, and I'm not worried about adding extra time to start a family. Like that's not something that's feeling like a burden. It's just feeling like no, that's okay. This is okay. This is right. So I was immediately super excited. Yeah.
It took me a little bit longer to come around to it, but not very long at all, because it was such an adventure. It was just such a big thing.
Akya said, "When I was 17, I didn't know how to handle someone hurting me. Opened the Bible, and the first verse I read was about forgiving. I no longer believe in God, but it was exactly what I needed to hear." That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like even though our perceptions can change, there's still there's good memories and there's good things we can take out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so South Africa was a real challenge for us. Like it was a really neat adventure, but there were so many things that we were not ready for. We were not ready for feeling like we were in jail all the time with bars on the doors and
it bothered you a lot more than it bothered me.
Yeah. But it was also difficult because there weren't a lot of programs.
Yeah, it was. And just in general, like, it was a lot harder to make any plans. Like,
terrible phone reception. You couldn't get bookings because we couldn't contact people.
Well, and it was also just generally the whole thing of like, we had times in South Africa where we made contact with the school and they booked us to come work with do theater for the students the very next day. Like, that would never happen in Europe or the US. It was like that's just unthinkable. But there it was just like, yeah, okay, this sounds fun. Yeah, let's do it. It's like, what? And then they're like, okay, what do we have? I'm like, what can we do? We're like, now suddenly we have all of these
3 hours
shows we're
fill.
doing tomorrow. What do we have enough plays ready? What the heck do we do?
I'd kind of forgotten about that.
Yeah.
But also, the first thing was how long were we there before we had to go back? You had to go to Sweden and I had to go to America because we could not apply for visas.
Yeah, they had recently changed their the rules regarding visas and things, and we had missed a bunch of information, so we didn't start our process in time, because it was not clear to us what we needed to do, so then we ended up going over there without having all of the paperwork that we needed done, and so then we needed to leave again. So we both went back to the States. We were there for a couple of months before we realized that it would be a lot easier for me to get my paperwork done from Sweden than from the US, just because there were such wait times and so many complications with getting background checks done in the US. But if I applied from Sweden, I wouldn't need an American background check because I hadn't lived there for that long, and so we ended up having
but
to
first
spend
we were together in California for a few weeks before.
a few months.
I mean.
We were working at the office in California for 2 months.
And we were shuffled around in so many different host homes in that time too. That was rough. But it was kind of cool to be living and working in Southern California too.
Yeah.
Our best host home, we had an amazing room with an ensuite bathroom and a swimming pool, part of the condo, and it was just a few minutes from the beach.
It was really cool.
Those people were so sweet to us.
Yeah.
So then it was the first time in our entire marriage that we couldn't be together when you went to Sweden.
Yeah,
that was really hard for me.
Yeah, we were apart for 3 weeks.
Yeah, but the really hardest part was that we didn't know when we would be together again. Yeah. We didn't know how long it would take for you to get your paperwork.
Yeah, or for you to get yours. But then Katie's paperwork came through fairly soon after I left, and so then she went to Germany.
But wait.
Yeah.
Before that, I was starting to not feel well and could not remember when I'd last had a period, or the time of the month. Hello, Stuppert.
Wood Beach in California. It was somewhere down around it was somewhere in Ventura County, but I can't remember exactly where we were. Were we in Oxnard proper at that time, or
we were really close to a beautiful area.
Yeah, but I can't remember. It was somewhere around Oxnard, Ventura, but I can't remember exactly.
Thousand Oaks?
No, that's where the church was, where we had the training, I think. Anyway,
I was starting to not feel well, and I could not remember when I had last had that time of the month. And I took my very first test, and it was positive, and Morton wasn't there, and I had to tell him over Skype. And I was like, Morton, I need you to be alone. I need you to sit down. He was like, what? And I told him, and I just remember him doing this. What?
yeah. But yeah, that is such a story, all of that.
Yeah. And so we told him, and then I was so excited and so happy. And we really just wanted to tell everybody when you finally did arrive in Germany.
Yeah, because we met up in Germany at the County Players office there, and then went back down to South Africa together, proper paperwork in hand.
Yeah, finally we could stay there for more than a few months. And we were so excited. And when we were at a church, should we save this one for another thing? Maybe.
I mean, well,
we have covered the 3 continents.
Yeah, but I feel like we should at least, like, don't need to maybe tell all the details, but I guess we should say.
I mean, I kind of would just like to do it justice, you know.
Yeah, but
and we've already been going for 41 minutes.
Yeah, but I'm like, we can tell those, but I feel like we should still say that.
It was a miscarriage.
Yeah, we did lose that pregnancy, which was
devastating.
Really hard. Yeah. Like, looking back, it was like it doesn't. It of course doesn't hurt as much anymore, and it does, like, but then like, you know, everything has really worked out really well in the aftermath of that.
And it's just obviously a very strange thing to think, if we had that child, we would not have our twins.
Yeah.
Because we found out they were coming like 4-ish months later.
Yeah.
So it's complicated, those feelings and that sadness and that like we just did everything we could to distract ourselves. We were currently watching a TV show called Psych, and we would just binge watch it. We hardly left the room, barely to eat and go to the bathroom.
Yeah, we spent like 2 or 3 like days just like, which was really cool that our supervisor at the time gave us that time and space to really deal with it.
Yeah. So then I just wanted to talk to people. I just wanted, like, every single host home, because, you know, we're still traveling a lot. We didn't travel as much because we were at the office in South Africa. But we still had blips of time where we were spending whole weeks or chunks of time with different people. So I just wanted to talk to people. I just wanted to not feel alone with my feelings.
Yeah.
Didn't want to hold it in. That's such a huge motivator for me in wanting to promote compassion, because people say really stupid things when you're going through a hard time. Whatever the hard time is, people are just dumb. And sadly, a lot of the time, it's like the religious people that are the dumbest. That, like...
Yeah. Say platitudes that they think help, but just make you feel worse.
Yeah. Or they're just pointless.
Yeah.
Like, this was God's plan, or this was the devil's attack. Like,
yeah, we heard both of them sometimes in the same day.
We did.
It's like,
and don't worry, you're young, you'll have more kids. Like, these things suck. Just people should just shut their stupid faces and say, do you want to talk about it? Do you want to hug?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, was just about to ask, is that why you're so passionate about being vulnerable? Yes, yes. The vulnerability and compassion just go hand in hand in that.
Yeah.
Like vulnerability without compassion kind of just like leaves this open.
Can become a victim mentality.
Yeah, that's true. Deep.
Like, because if it's only about your own vulnerability and struggles, yeah, then
And it doesn't really go anywhere.
yeah.
And then compassion needs something to feel that about, and sometimes it's hearing someone's vulnerable story that wakes up that inherent compassion that we have.
Yeah.
This is like poetic stuff here.
Yeah, I've always felt like, like you have to expose yourself to as many of these things as possible so that you can find the things that you want. Like, because I think that everyone has, a place, can find a passion to make the world better, but you need to expose yourself to all of these difficult things to find what it is that you can and want to change.
Yeah. For people struggling to know like what's their purpose, is what breaks your heart, what is the thing that you hear about and you're just like, this has to get better. Like, that's the compassion in you that shows you what you want to get better.
Yeah, it's like, and I feel it's so important to try and do something with your life, something good for the world and for other people. Because you can't do everything, but yeah, it's but you should be doing something to make the world better. And then if that is taking care of stray animals or doing like medical research, like both of those things are good things that need to be done. And it's like,
but that's not to say that everybody's got to do like entertainment for entertainment's sake is still something. It's as long as it's not negatively based and hurting someone.
It's like entertainment, which but then like you can be entertaining and also and through that help people through their own difficult times.
I recently talked to someone shared about real deep struggles with depression, saying that Rhett and Link silliness helped them to come out on the other side. It wasn't this big deep pain artist thing. It was somebody being silly, putting something silly out there that just gave them the nudge they needed to keep going. Yes.
In vulnerability, there is strength. Yeah.
Akia said, if someone comes to me that they are hurting, I often just say, I don't know what to say, but I'm here. That is a perfect thing to say.
Yeah.
There's no point saying, I know what you're feeling. Like, my dog died. Like, no. Okay, that's a bad example because the pet dying is a very traumatic, sad thing. But when someone's child dies, you don't bring up your childhood pet aunt. Like,
yeah. I feel like the thing that I like something that I have learned a bit about, but like haven't had much chance to put into practice. But it's like, don't say that you were there, and then but then also about but then skip all of the feelings and talking, and find something practical that you can do to help as well.
And
be like, have you eaten today?
Yes.
Or do you have food? And do you have food for tomorrow? Or should I bring you something?
And depending on how they're doing, sometimes you can't even say, what do you need me to do? You just let them sit on the couch and wrapped up in a burrito, look in their fridge. See how much food is there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I said
just do it.
Yeah, don't it's very easy to just go. Just tell me if there's something I can do for you. But it's so hard to even, like, when you're in that place, it's so hard to even know.
Yeah.
That's why I said, like, just go, have you eaten today?
Yes.
Do you know what you're eating tomorrow? and then if the answer to either of those questions is no, then you go, I'll bring you something.
I think a huge thing is keeping your eyes open to who's around you, who's in your sphere of influence that might be lonely or hurting, which is a little bit difficulter, a little bit more difficult in this time when we're supposed to be distancing. But there's got to be ways to reach out to the lonely people from a distance. Like, you can talk over fences. You can see how people are doing.
Yeah, I remember seeing this thing someone posted online of, like, someone who was, like, suffering from, like, severe depression, and how a group of their friends just, like, more or less snuck into their apartment, like almost broke into their apartment and cleaned it for them. Just like, because they were like, okay, clearly they need help. Clearly they are unable to ask for it. Let's just do this.
Oh, that's awesome. That's the kind of thing that's going to just make me cry if I think about it. Just like thinking about the person's reactions. I've been starting to watch Mr. Beast videos, and he, like, I don't know if have you ever watched Mr. Beast videos, and he, like, gives the guy who delivered his pizza a house. Like, I just start to cry halfway through the video waiting for them to find out that all the stuff is for them. Like,
yeah.
So, okay, I said, I wish my family knew this 5 years ago. So, what happened 5 years ago, or do you want to talk about it? And, Andrea said, my wife really did that for me during a very difficult time a few years back. She broke into your house and cleaned it?
No, I don't think it was that specifically. I think
okay.
it was, like, but it just really being there in a pragmatic way, because I think he wrote that before we got into that story.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah.
And Sarah said, one thing I used to do is just hold people or sit there and listen to them. That can be very valuable as well.
I can tell that you guys are just amazing, compassionate people. It's like, yes, this is the kind of people I want to have in my life. This is the kind of community.
Yeah, and there's Andreas lost his short-term memory a few weeks in the beginning of 2018.
Oh man.
Oh, that is.
That must have been so intense.
Wow. So, yeah. Well, I'm glad you. But I'm glad that it got better. But
yeah,
yikes.
That's so amazing that Sarah was there for you. Oh man.
Yes.
So this got a lot heavier. I'd kind of forgotten that so much had happened, especially in that time of 3 continents and all those transitions.
Yeah.
But I would like to actually, like, do a whole episode talking about the miscarriage and the ways that our supervisor supported us.
Yeah.
And just what it was like in the hospital. And it's like, yeah, it's not going to be a super happy, fun, chatty one. I mean, we'll still talk and respond in the comments and stuff. Obviously, it's not going to be so fun, but I feel like it's worth talking about.
As Sarah said, so many people want to talk at you to try and fix your problems rather than listening and helping.
Oof. Yeah. Really. Yeah. And especially, like, telling you how you should be feeling, how you should be believing, how your faith should be. And it's like, no, you have to leave people to figure things out.
Yeah. Especially with grief process and such. It's just, there's no telling what grief will do to a person. And, like, it will look different for different people. And it's, you never know how it's all going to feel. Like, I know, well, I still, like, I haven't fully processed it, like, yeah, like the, just an acquaintance who recently passed away,
Yeah.
because of, well, the virus, the coronavirus. Like, it was not someone that I knew very close, but we had like been on a committee together through in the last year and such. So I had some contact with her, and it was so strange, like, to then now a week or two ago to have a meeting with that same committee again, and her not being there, and it's something that all of us were still sort of processing there, and like talking about that, and it's so hard to know how to process those feelings, even when it's something that wasn't super close to me, but it was still.
And then of course
it definitely affected me directly.
Yeah, and it makes COVID like feel more real than it did before.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness, this could happen. Like, the thought had crossed my mind when I thought that I had COVID. Like, what if I'm one of the people that doesn't make it through? Like, or has permanent long-term damage.
Yeah. But then just and to know the importance of having people there. Like, that's just one of the things that I keep just reminding myself of how good I have had it in my life, especially because my parents are the kind of people to like, they've really shown that example of when there is something that's needed, they are right there.
They're amazing.
Like my brothers had a really hard time once several years back, and my dad just dropped everything, like, left the farm for several weeks just to be with him, through that time, and like help him move on to the next thing, and things like that. And that's just the sort of thing, and it's really, really important. Yeah.
Your parents are amazing examples of people who are generous and open and loving and non-judgmental, just ready.
Yeah. Like I said, I visited my grandma for the first time after my grandfather died.
Ooh.
Yeah, that must have been weird. Insanely lucky. I've had all my grandparents for almost 33 years.
That is lucky. Wow. So cool that you got that much time. I never met my paternal grandma. She died when my dad was 16.
Yeah.
And now I've got one grandparent left.
Yeah. I still have both of my grandmothers. Both of my grandfathers have passed away. One of them when I was just a kid, but then I did. Right, when was it? Because that was that while we were in the U.S. that my grandfather passed away?
I don't remember.
I certainly know.
We've been on too many countries. It's so hard to remember when things happen.
I do know that while we were in the U.S. and when we had come back for the visa problems, and we were in the U.S. working at the office, that was when my uncle
and his dad
both passed away in a freak accident on their farm. Yeah.
In the same day. Yeah. Death is weird.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Here's the. Oh yeah, Andreas. The thing that happened to Andreas 2 years ago on New Year's Eve. Andreas either called or messaged me. Can't remember which. Completely non-verbal.
Where are you reading this?
That's the last
message.
Oh,
there it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So yeah, that's.
Wow. So he called, but he couldn't even talk. So you called him? Wow.
And then,
something is not right.
Yeah, wow, that is
when somebody you care about is just not right, it's so stinking scary. Yeah. Like, I'd never seen anyone faint before.
But I'm a fainter.
Well, you haven't done it in a good,
I've gotten good at avoiding the situations that trigger it.
You haven't fainted since the girls have been around.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
So that's almost 5 years there.
Yeah.
Or even since I was pregnant, so full 5 years.
Oh. One of his neighbors had tried to physically assault him and break into his flat. His PTSD flared up, and myself and my mom had to calm him down. Oh,
Whoa.
goodness.
Dang.
Okay, so it was a psychosomatic response to stress, like extreme stress.
Yeah. It's like our bodies go into fight or flight mode. But with something with PTSD already there, there's like that shutting down is going to be even more severe probably. It's great that your mom was there for him too.
Yeah. Wow.
But when I saw Morton faint and I was like, the person I love is dying. What is happening? Because I didn't even know it was fainting. I wish somebody had just said that like right away.
Well, I mean, but I don't know if they really so sure of that. But like, I don't know if they knew that was what's going on either.
But there's nothing like that feeling of helplessness when someone is.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do. You just watch and wait. Yeah. Andreas remembers about that accident.
Yeah.
That rocked the whole island.
Yeah. Like.
There's so many farmers over here, and they probably knew a good chunk of them.
Yeah, I mean, in your close area, like all the farmers know each other because you borrow equipment from each other, or like if you're in like if you need to go like the whole thing I said when my dad dropped everything and to help my brother for a few weeks, that was possible because they could just call other farmers in the area to come help out and cover for him while he was gone.
That is my dream of life, is community. Like, it's so great in our neighborhood. There are so many young parents with small children, and I just want to connect with all of them to be like, okay, that anytime you need to go for a walk, take a shower, whatever, you can drop your kids off at they can run around in the backyard while you can do what you need to do. Just having that network is just so valuable.
Yeah. It's something that just is missing for so many people these days. That was why we decided to move back to Gotland. Well, a big part of it was just that we felt we could build a support network here. Like, both just to have my parents nearby, but yeah.
It just feels safer and nicer in a smaller area. Like, there's never a place on Gotland where there's 3 lanes of traffic. Like, isn't there?
Yeah,
so it's only 2 lanes of traffic on the whole island.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have this, there's never this city overwhelming feel.
Yeah, because
I love it.
Yeah,
cities are great to visit, but I don't want to live in one.
Yeah, Visby isn't a city. It's a town.
Yeah,
it's a fairly big town, but it's still like it could never really have that. Could never really be fully a city.
Mm-hmm. Sarah said, Akia said that type of community is worth its weight in gold. Oh yeah.
There's right. Plus, Gotland is so beautiful. It really is.
And you guys need to move to Gotland.
I really love where we're currently staying. That we are in Visby, but we're right in the outskirts. So it is like it really feels like sort of like secluded and private, and it's not like you're in a city at all. But then we can walk to like we're in walking distance to like the largest grocery superstore on the island.
This place is amazing. Please hold your thumbs or whatever you like to do, that we could stay here, because I don't want to move.
Yeah.
I love this place. I want them to sell it to us and to be able to have the other room that's locked off to us.
But we would not be able to buy any house for many years yet.
Well, there's 5 people how many people watching? If you guys each get me 100 subscribers now. There's some potential for me to start making money with things.
Oh, and this is it's not because there's just public transport isn't good enough for him here.
Right, yeah, I hear that.
Yeah.
Dang it all.
It's especially right now. Like they're working. Like there's been a lot of complaints about the public transport lately. Should come visit at some point. We'd love that. I mean, of course. Not right now, obviously.
The soonest they're thinking the vaccine should be getting to us is August.
Or I said I heard like they are hoping that they might be able to lift restrictions in August. Like the vaccine should be. I mean, their goal is to have everyone vaccinated by midsummer, but then even then it takes a while before it takes, and then it doesn't, and then even with the vaccine, some people will still be susceptible, so it won't go away immediately.
So let us know in the comments if you've got your vaccine.
Yeah, we're like I was just talking to my mom about like because Scotland is really like they are actually ahead of the plan when it comes to vaccine distribution. So we're like well, so they're sort of moving down because they're doing it by age, so they're moving down. So we're looking at like seeing, especially my dad, because my dad has some health problems already, and with the farm and such, he is really nervous about catching the virus.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that he'll be able to get it soon. But then we kind of like, even if it becomes like that, he could get the virus in like say 3 weeks, or get the vaccine, or even if they open up for like booking for his age bracket soon, then like you can book it, but then it'll probably be a couple of weeks before you get it, and then you have to wait a month to get the second dose, and then it takes another week or so after that before it's fully taken. So it's like, then according to the Swedish government, you don't. You're in that limbo spot.
No, that sucks.
Katie.
I was there.
Katie didn't exist for a little while. Well, Katie was technically an illegal immigrant for a while.
We can go into that.
Yes, that's a story for another live stream.
Yes, we've actually been going for 1 hour and 7 minutes now.
Hour and 8.
What? That's cool.
Yes, so I think we'll say good night.
Yeah, thanks so much for hanging out with us. I think I'll probably change the title of this to kind of reflect more about what we were talking about.
I mean, we did talk about that.
Yeah, but it isn't. We got into like compassion and death and heavy stuff. So
yeah. Anyway. Good night.
Hugs.
Bless you.
Hopefully.
We hope that things will work out for you. Stina is getting her second dose soon.
Nice.
That's cool.
That's exciting.
Happy for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Vi ses.
Hugs.
Ha det bra.